Now let's move on to listening. You're going to listen to a conversation. Try to tell me what it is.
How did you manage to access all this information?
Electrical impulses. Every cell knows and talks to every other cell. They exchange 1,000 bits of information between them per second. Cells group together, forming a giant web of communication, which in turn forms matter. Cells get together, take on one form, deform, reform. Makes no difference, it's all the same.
This is in English and slightly fast. And if you are not used to listening to such audio recordings in English, it's very difficult to comprehend. Now, just listening alone is difficult. But let us listen to the same conversation, but this time with a video.
How did you manage to access all this information?
Electrical impulses. Every cell knows and talks to every other cell. They exchange 1,000 bits of information between them per second. Cells group together, forming a giant web of communication, which in turn forms matter. Cells get together, take on one form, deform, reform. Makes no difference, it's all the same. Humans consider themselves unique, so they've rooted their whole theory of existence on their uniqueness. One is their unit of measure, but it's not. All social systems we put into place are a mere sketch. 1 + 1 = 2. That's all we've learned. But 1 + 1 has never equaled 2. There are, in fact, no numbers and no letters. We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
Now, the video would have helped you understand what the person was trying to say. But then, if you really want to develop your ability to listen properly, you should practice without the video. How can you become an effective listener? You got to be prepared. You have to resist distractions. You have to keep an open mind. Listen for the theme, not the fact. You have to focus on the content, not the style. Why are you looking at that GIF? I said resist distractions. You're all looking at the GIF. Don't look. Look at the text. You have to learn to resist distraction. Focus. Listen to the theme. Let us move on to speaking. The context number one, you can speak to an individual. What is important, you have to look at that person's face. There's a distance that you maintain, and you need not have to shout. You have to speak audibly but clearly. Imagine speaking to a small group. Here again, you don't have to shout, even if you're not using a microphone. Everybody will be watching you, your body posture. Imagine going to make a presentation to very senior professors for a funding for your science project. How you present is important. How you speak. If you are not able to communicate properly what you present, it may not give you that. Even though your idea is good, you may fail to impress them. You have to speak clearly. Now, it doesn't come automatically. Whenever you are alone, try to say something in English. What you see, and then you practice, check for clarity, speak to your friends so that they will try to tell you whether what you say is clearly understood by them. Practice how to change your tone and your voice. You know, sometimes you may be saying things very softly, but the other person may think it is threatening. You see, the tonal variation you should practice. Which means whenever you get a chance, speak to your friends in English, develop an ability to communicate, not very fast, not very slow, but the proper pace, which all comes through practice, but you can. Now, giving a speech is essentially different. Speech is you're speaking to a big audience. You have to look at the audience, the tone in which you speak and the pace. You shouldn't speak out very fast. The audibility, of course, the microphone and the public address system will take care of. But then, when you are giving a speech, how you if you look at the audience, use the right tone, the right words, you can communicate properly, and that too comes through practice. Now, there is this video is available on YouTube. In fact, this particular speech by the person who you are going to see is being used for teaching English also.
Hello, I'm Severin Suzuki speaking for ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We're a group of 12 and 13-year-olds trying to make a difference. Vanessa Setti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. I am afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone. I'm afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it.
If you practice the text with the video, what I'm trying to say is, if you see the video and the subtitle, there is one way of learning, because you hear, you can associate with the word, the spelling, and that is one way of learning. So if you are in the habit of watching films with subtitles in English, that is indirectly helping you. Maybe if you watch a film in English, you may not find it easy.